Modern Children's Library of Knowledge. There are 6 books. This is a set of 6 books, and I'm reading from book number 6. This was bought by my father for when I was maybe in the 6 years old, or rather, I was in the first standard. So I found it very interesting. I won't read it, but he would read out stories to us from here. And I'm right now reading a story, 4th story by Enid Blyton on page 37 in book number 6. So this is book 6 of the Modern Children's Library of Knowledge. And in this, it begins with a section for very young children who are still learning to read. So we have nursery rhyme stories, simple descriptions of things that you come across in daily life, together with pictures of all sorts of places, the rooms of the house or the street, the country, seaside, and so on. And all the most interesting objects in pictures have had their names added. And we have... this is book 6 is a school companion by the name of School Companion, and it's a practical guide to work and play together with special section for very young and a quick reference encyclopedia for older children too. So it's by Enid Blyton, well-known children's author, then Reverend Ralph Kirby, editor of religious books, then Loisa Holland, NFF, TD, University of Nottingham, Institute of Education, then Stanley Wilson, Diploma of Physical Education, Inspector of Physical Education for London County Council. Then we have Herbert McKay, BSc, formerly Mathematics, Master, Berkhamsted School. And we have Jack Cox, MA, Boy Scouts Commissioner and Children's Magazines Editor. And this is by the Grolier Society Ltd, London. So this was first published in 1957 and reprinted in 1966, and that's what I have it here. So the 4th story I'm going to read from page 37. It is The Wind and the Sun. It's a tale from Aesop's Fables, written by Enid Blyton. So once upon a time, the wind and sun had a quarrel. "I'm far stronger than you," boasted the wind. "I can tear down chimneys, pull up trees, and send ships scudding before me. You can do nothing of these things." "Yes, yet I'm stronger than you," said the sun. "You are foolish, wind, to quarrel like this." "Very well," said the wind, blowing a cloud to shreds as he spoke. "We will have a trial of strength to prove which of us is the stronger. What shall we do?" "Do you see that traveller down there?" said the sun. "He wears a green cloak round his shoulders. Shall we say that whichever of us can get his cloak off is stronger of the two?" "Agreed," said the wind. "I will try first, and I tell you I shall certainly win." The wind began. First of all, he blew very hard round the traveller. He took hold of the man's cloak and pulled at it. He jerked it this way and that. The traveller was afraid it would be blown off, so he tied it more tightly and held it close round his neck, for he was cold. The wind blew more strongly still. He called upon the rain and drenched the man through from top to toe. The traveller shook the drops from himself, pulled his cloak even tightly around him, and went on his way complaining bitterly. The wind grew angry. He blew up a hurricane and spun the man forward, trying to rip his cloak from him. He howled in his ear. He roared for help to come, and soon the poor man was trying to protect his head from the stinging balls of ice. He was so cold that he wished he had 10 cloaks. He took off the belt from his coat and buckled it tightly round his cloak so that it could not possibly be blown away. The wind was defeated and called mockingly upon the sun to try his power. The sun shone out, and the clouds and mist fled away. The wind was quiet, the rain stopped. The sun shone very steadily, and his rays began to dry the traveller's wet cloak. The man unbuckled his belt and let his cloak hang free from his shoulders. so that it might dry easily. Still the sun shone down with a steady heat. Soon the traveller felt warm and unbuttoned his cloak at the neck. The sun went on shining. The man began to puff and blow, for he grew hot. He fanned himself with his handkerchief and took off his hat. The sun shone and shone, and suddenly, to the wind's dismay and the sun's delight, the traveller threw off his heavy cloak and went striding on his way without it. He could not bear the heat of it any longer. "Gently does it," cried the sun to the wind. "I have won. Roaring and blustering are never much good, you know. Gently does it."